have spent your childhood fighting with your sibling, but as adults, your brother or sister can really help bring out the best in you.
Yeah, no question about that, right? Well, Dr. Robi Ludwig and her sister, Rami Brooke Sharp, help each other, build each other up in their careers. Their success stories are featured in this month's issue of New York Lifestyles magazine as well. Gorgeous pictures there. Well, Dr. Robi joining us today to talk about so many things, but most importantly, how your sibling relationship can actually make you more successful. Dr. Robi, nice to see you.
Nice to be here. I know it's such a great topic because we tend to view siblings as having issues with one another. But the good news is they can have a really big impact on your mental health, well-being, and success in life.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your story. What was it like growing up with your sister, and how did you guys form this bond that you have today?
You know, I give credit a lot to my parents, especially my mother. She raised us with the goal to be friends and to support one another. And I think it was her voice that certainly helped us to do that. Plus, we tend to have a lot in common. We have wonderful childhood memories of playing with each other, looking in on our neighbors, just having each other at each other's events and parties, and supporting each other when we needed it the most.
Well, we certainly know you have an incredibly strong family. With Mr. G is your uncle, by the way, in case people did not know that. So how do siblings actually shape who we are?
Well, siblings really help us to understand that we may not always be the center of attention. We recognize we're not the only person in the room. And they also, according to the studies, help us to be kinder, more thoughtful, and more empathic. We just grow up with a sense that there's somebody else in our world that we care about, and that we care about how they feel and how they are. And so the studies show that it's even more impactful than single or only children, that there is this increased skill that we develop because they are the first friends that we make in the world. And that tends to set the stage for how we interact with others.
Guess it probably helps if you're closer in age, too. I know there's quite a age difference between me and my sister, but as we've gotten older, it doesn't really matter. So let's talk about the siblings. Sometimes there's some competition between them, so how can that be good or bad?
Well, it's really true that parents can set the stage for competition, and it's just natural in the sense that the siblings are competing for their parents' attention. But what is really good, there's good competition, and our sibling can almost set the stage for what we want to accomplish. Or if we're competing, it can help us to develop a certain skill. There was a study about siblings that found, you know, if you have a sibling who went to college, you're more inclined to go to college. If you have a sibling that's married and has children, that also can have a huge impact. So it's that constant companion that's influencing where the success bar is. And it really does impact the choices that we make.
Yeah, it's so true. Well, parents also can make a big impact in relationships with siblings. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I think it's really great if parents cannot compare in a negative way. Each sibling has their own personality, their own strengths, and if parents can highlight that and remind their children that they're not competing with each other, that everybody can have success. And if there's one successful sibling, it impacts the whole entire family in a positive way. And if siblings can remain friends throughout their lifetime, it can help reduce depression, it can increase mental well-being, and also reduce loneliness. So if parents think about that and encourage their kids to stay connected, it's the longest, most valuable relationship we can have in our lifetime.
So tell us a little bit about how the dynamic can differ between the ages, let's say when there's brother-brother, sister-sister, or brother-sister.
The studies show that when there's a brother-brother dynamic during adolescence, it can increase risk-taking behavior. For heterosexual romantic relationships, if there is a daughter and son, it actually can help increase romantic competency because you have a real sense of the opposite sex. And for daughters, it really, they found, compared to brothers, can have the longest term friendship and support system.
And also having an incredible uncle, too. I'm sure, Dr. Robi, that makes a huge difference. So we cannot let this go without bringing in your favorite uncle, or he would be very disappointed in me.
Well, Robi, first of all, obviously I'm very proud of you, but more importantly, you took my weather time up. We had this discussion before. I mean, is there any way you can address this issue?
I don't know. I'm just really good at just discovering if we're going to have a bad hair day, if it's going to rain. I just got really, but it's all thanks to you, Uncle Irving. And you know that without you in our family, it just would not have been as fun or successful a family unit.
Look at that. Gee, she wasn't even reading the teleprompter for that.
You two have to go out one night. That would be something.
Robi, thank you.
But Robi, I got to tell you guys,
so much.
It's easy to be an uncle when you have a lively, spirited group of nieces like I have, 3 of them. So, all right, do the weather now. Oh no.
You're so sensitive, G. I love it.